Welcome back to Fox Sports coverage of the inaugural Auckland Nines competition. Well, if a lot of work goes into preparing for the season from the players, a lot of work went into the crowd getting ready for this tournament. They look absolutely fantastic and they're having a lot of fun out there. Okay, not long now before kickoff in Auckland and the Nines final. Let's get an update from tab.com.au's Matt Jenkins.
Yeah, thanks, Shervo. Not the final we expected. The Brisbane Broncos, $21 this morning. The Cowboys were $41. The Broncos, they'll start slight favourites. Money starting to come in for them. They're $1.80 into $1.75. And you can see there a pretty small line of 1.5 there going to the Cowboys. Let's have a look at this first try scorer market. Remember, a 25% bonus on the number 9s. You can see there, Andrew McCulloch, here's a $16.25 chance. He's found the line as well so far. And Ray Thompson there at $13.75. We'll see how Ben Barber goes. A $5 chance to score that first try. There's a stack of markets we'll bet live on the final. You'll find all the markets at tab.com.au, Shervo.
Thank you very much, Matt. Well, Noddy, fatigue, how much does that play into the competition at this point?
Well, you're talking about Game 6, aren't you? He's going to be certainly very much fatigued. There's an extra 20 minutes there for the longer turnaround. The Cowboys, that was their grand final, I think. They were intense against the Warriors. They were up in their face. They played very physical. So I'm going to think that the Broncos will win. On the back of that wasn't the grand final they played, and obviously Alex Corbo going to the Broncos. They've been extremely hard trained, and I think fitness will play a big part.
And it's hard, isn't it, that you're up that much, then you go back down and then trying to get back
within
up
a short period
of time. So look, whether Paul Green can pull that off, but I tend to lean towards Noddy's thinking as well. I tend to favour the Broncos purely for the fact that I believe they look the fitter team. I think the Cowboys have got more striked, but I don't think they're as disciplined, and I think the Broncos will win off the back of being boring.
Yeah, I predict the Broncos. I think experience in big games, Thaiday, Gillette, Parker, Benny Barber, I think they've sort of been there, done that at the highest echelon that you can possibly play at. And this is a big game, even though it's a different type of game in Nines, they've played at the highest level and they've performed at the highest level too.
It's an interesting point you make. That experience in a big game, whether it's an Origin final or an international final, does that come into play, Gaz?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you can't beat the experience, you know. It comes with performing under pressure as well. I think, you know, when you've got them key moments, you've been there, done that before, and you know what it takes. So, yeah, it is a factor, definitely.
What about that muscle fatigue? Because one of the toughest things, you say you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. These guys have been there all day. They got there early in the morning. They would have had to have warmed up for their first match, then cooled down, then warmed up, then cooled down. It's got to put a lot of strain on the muscles.
Yeah, and hopefully we don't see too many serious injuries coming out of the final with soft tissue injuries, because this is the game where they're going to be 100% fatigued. As you said, Trevor, they've gone up, gone down, got up and gone down. And let's hope players get through injury-free. I think you're going to see very much a defensive-orientated grand final, and you're going to see some star come out of this that you're not going to have predicted before this tournament started.
Geez, they'd be sick of ice baths, wouldn't they?
Well, they've got another one to go.
How many times they've done it today?
One more ice bath to go when they finish today.
They've got a lot to play for, the players too. They really want to win this, the players. I mean, there's a lot of talk amongst the clubs about winning. The prize money up on offer for these players is a lot, not usually given to us or given the opportunity as well. So they're playing for a lot.
The Nines final is just about to kick off, but we have another big pre-season game as well next Saturday, the 22nd, of course. It is the Charity Shield match between the Dragons and the Rabbitohs, and that game is hosted by the Dragons this year. Well, Gaz, you know what it's all about.
I do. It's probably the most intense trial you can get. It's the closest thing to replicate, an actual NRL game. You go into it always saying, no, it's just a trial, I'll take it easy. But then by 10 minutes you're into it, it becomes quite serious. And it is a good hit out before you start the season. So, look, both teams will be looking to get the most out of that before they go into the NRL season. It's always a hard game.
Well, we're just hearing some late news from Auckland that Ben Barber won't be playing in the final. It's a big loss for the Broncos. I mean, we mentioned his involvement in this competition and his involvement in the Broncos side going forward, but for him not to be in that final after doing the work that he's done.
Yeah, it's a huge loss, but that might be a reason why he's been a bit quiet. And they've sort of kept him out on the wings and they haven't included him in this team. Maybe he's carrying maybe a niggling injury, or they've just gone for a different team and given him a bit of a rest, but it is definitely a surprise.
Does that give the Cowboys an edge, Noddy?
Well, I think the impact he's had on this tournament, unfortunately, it doesn't probably weaken the Broncos too much. You think about what he can bring to the tournament and you say, yes, it's a huge loss, but I don't think he's had a great impact. I think Nicarima certainly stood up and been encountered there, and I suppose you say, yeah, it does help the Cowboys because they've got to now be psychologically thinking, hey, there's no Ben Barber, how good's this? We've just got the edge over him already.
What would the coaches be saying? Paul Green, Anthony Griffin, Is this important for their preparation, or do they just see this as we want a victory?
I think it's huge for their preparation. I think it's got to add more confidence to what you've been saying in the off-season, what you've been practicing, defence and attack orientated. I know it's a totally different style of football, but your principles are still there. Your process you go through is still the same price. And I think, as Gaz said, if you can handle this pressure, then you trust all your processes, and I think it helps you for the season.
I think, particularly from Paul Green's point of view, you've come, you're trying to implement a new culture, you're trying to get the players to believe in what you're trying to teach them works. So if you go out and win a tournament on the back of what he's preaching, then they're going to buy into a lot more as to what you want to achieve.
Okay, we are not far from kick-off. It is the final of the inaugural Auckland Nines competition. Your commentators, Andrew Voss and Daryl Halligan and Greg Alexander, will take you through all of the action.
And relaxed as they came out. Brisbane, I don't know who the favourites are, to be honest. Alex Glenn's enjoying it. Gavin Cooper to lead out the Cowboys. And in some ways, for all of those fans watching us through the North Queensland area, and it's a big area, on Fox Sports in Australia, to win a title, isn't it nice if it could be Brisbane that they beat? The team that for so long carried the tag of big brother to them.
They're on the rise, the North Queensland Cowboys. Some of their biggest stars not here. I like the inclusion of Mitchell once he got his chance, really coming off the bench and used pretty much like a super sub. Cooper has gone unheralded, pretty much on the left where he likes to play as the left side back row. That's Bowen on screen. Winterstein and Linnett have been a real threat on the right-hand side, and Louis has stepped up when required.
We haven't had a golden try match at all over the weekend in the 30 previous games. If scores are level at the end of 18, they play golden try until there is a winner. So, game 31. 173 tries have been scored, 872 points. Let's have some fun. The Cowboys against the Broncos to decide the Nines champions. And Glenn first up. The Cowboys' defence, that was magnificent. Magnificent in the semi-final against the Warriors is on show right there.
Winterstein, Linnett, cost Jason 4-on-1.
They won their semi-final in a shutout. 8-0. Quite extraordinary, really, that scoreline. Lowest of the tournament. Cost Jason is inside the 20. Taken down by McCulloch, one of the players of the tournament. So too this man, Tamo. Rounded up there by Parker. Two Australian internationals head-to-head. Cost Jason to Louis. Louis has got better as the tournament has gone on. Cooper. Good tackle by Mills and Hunt. Cowboys 5-away penalty. They get another set of 5. Ben Cummins referee for the decider. Tap taken quickly. Taumalolo.
Great effort by Mills. First the up and in to close it down on Cooper, then got right under Taumalolo.
Oh yeah. Gillett there as well. Now cost Jason 10 from the line. The final of the Nines. We're just over a minute in. All Cowboys, just one tackle for the Broncos inside. Tamo cut off low. Glenn had a leg. McCulloch there as well. I think McCulloch is wearing sunscreen on the nose, isn't he? There is Louis with the ball. 5 away. Got away from Parker. Louis drifts across to the left. Taumalolo takes him back to the centre of the ground and is tackled by Glenn. Tackled again by McCulloch. Thompson cost Jason first receiver that time. Louis back towards the post. Little kick. Fido's there. Sam is the saviour. Brisbane have the ball.
Two best defensive teams over the tournament, the Broncos and the Cowboys. The Cowboys' effort won them the game against the Warriors to get them into the final. The Broncos' effort there to hold the Cowboys out, just superb. Corey Parker, the man that'll skip of the Broncos this year, looking for an offload, and he's been very good at it this afternoon. The Cowboys coaching team in David Ferner and Paul Green looking on.
I've got to say, Corey Parker's been like a rock to Brisbane, hasn't he? In all their ups and downs over the last little while, he's been a real performer week in, week out.
Now McCulloch steadies to kick and drives it downfield towards the sideline. Takes a big left-hand bounce. Brisbane winning their way through to the final, beating the Sharks 18-14. They beat the Knights 16-11. Earlier today down in the Eels 15-14. Their other victory, their first match yesterday over the Bulldogs 20-4. And they lost to the Roosters. That was Freddie's intercept game. They lost to the Roosters 14-7. And here is Tamo. And as we watch the Cowboys play, it was a win by the Raiders over the Seagulls earlier today that proved the stroke of luck for the Cowboys to advance.
Well, the Cowboys came into the quarterfinals on the back of one win. Of course, lost their opening game to Manly out of dummy half. And a good run there too from Ray Thompson.
Yeah, solid two at the end of it, Parker. And Glenn just offered their shoulder to Thompson. And now Cooper tries a little chip through. No luck though on gathering in. Gillett has a chance to run. Gillett was almost away. Tamo and cost Jason got a little desperate there in defence. Brisbane yet to be in the Cowboys half with a ball in hand. But now they are. Lovely scoop up there from McCulloch. How good has he been? Fed along from Copley. On it came to Parker, the captain of the side, and they have the former captain in Thaiday among the ranks here. McCulloch and Hunt to right side with Mills. Tries a little skip, can't get past Louis. 30 away from the line on tackle 3. Nice scoop up McCulloch. Hunt again. Now to Thaiday, the winger. He put a foot over the line. No try. No try to Hunt. Sam Thaiday, the new right winger, put a foot over the sideline.
Yeah, nice play by the Broncos. The scoop from McCulloch out of dummy half. He was on the run, linked up with Ben Hunt and Sam Thaiday, playing on the extreme edge. No doubt about his foot and where it went. Touchy there to make the decision.
Such as the interchange rotation with the limited numbers Brisbane have. Sam had only just got off the field and then come straight back on. Cooper into a hole.
Cooper into a hole. Can't link up with Bowen. Now 40 metres out. Cooper may be best to go to ground with the ball. He does.
Oh, what a beautiful pass it was from Robert Louis. Held it up nicely to put Cooper into space.
30 away from the line. The Cowboys' big line to the right-hand side. I thought Morgan was magnificent in the semi. Here he is, Morgan, away to Winterstein. Winterstein stands them up. Antonio Winterstein scores the opening 4-pointer. He's crashed into the advertising hoardings. But a nice move by a former Bronco to score the Cowboys' opening try.
And put it down to the left-hand move by Robert Louis and Gavin Cooper. Cooper, who's overshadowed some of the bigger names in the Cowboy pack. He's been consistent. You watch him hold it up. Robert Louis throws the dummy, then just picks up Cooper nice and short. Couldn't get the pass away. Then Michael Morgan linking with Antonio Winterstein. He is a great finisher. We've seen plenty of it over the last couple of days. And Cooper starts the movement and Winterstein finishes.
Wasn't it a beautiful move and in and away to go past? I mean, he went past the fair player too, to Josh Hoffman. He's got great footwork as well. And the kick,
it's successful. That's a big one from Robert Louis. 2 tries unconverted in the semi-final. And Louis nails the first one, and not the easiest kick either. Look at that move. Look at that from Winterstein on Hoffman. Sensational stuff.
Stay behind it.
13 tries last year, leading try scorer for the Cowboys, Antonio Winterstein. Oh, hello. That's it, the post, the flying catch. Nicarima, they're going to say play on.
might be some chewing gum there. It just stopped there, didn't it? The ball sat up against the pole.
Oh, that's a knock-on if I've ever seen one. That was a knock-on. Cody Nicarima coming across the Michael Morgan kick. It was deep and good. He had to make up plenty of ground, but he spilt that. That's a knock-on.
So Broncos in possession, trailing by 6 points to 0. Gillett across field, double dummy there to Mills. Getting close to the sideline. Santo there. Been some good performances by unheralded players. Zach Santo. Bowen.
Last one.
And earlier today, Kyle Feld sadly played no part in the final with 5 tries next to his name for the tournament. Last tackle for Brisbane. Dabbed over the top and fielded by Santo. The kick came from Nicarima, the 19-year-old, actually New Zealand born. Cody, I can only imagine there'd be some family in the crowd watching him play here. Curtis Rona, big, tall, rangy player, has done some good things as well. Unloaded, Mitchell explodes through the centre, links up with Santo.
Now leave it.
Friday there with the fence, and Gillett. Past 7 minutes, and again, only 1 try scored. The tight battles continue. Morgan, it's as if they have gone into their shells, and things have really tightened up Mitchell, Leonard decides to sprint, runs at Lowry. Back to Mitchell. There is Morgan. Morgan held by Thaiday. Play the ball for Mitchell. It is the last tackle. Back to Morgan. Morgan got a kick in. It's going to bounce well for Leonard. Gathered in. What a take. Curtis Rona! Curtis Rona spun and gathered it in like it was on a string. Another one of the young gun scores for the Cowboys.
They might have got into their shell, Bossy, but they're playing with a real energy, these Cowboys. Some of the runs have been pretty much straight up the middle. Michael Morgan, what a lovely little kick. Fortuitous, the hit and swivel once it comes off. The ricochet, have a look at this. Bang, pushes from Linnett. Well, that's the sheer speculator, isn't it? The Rona. But a real energy about them. The sort of energy the Warriors had when they played and were ripping teams apart.
Well, the Broncos just can't keep up with the speed that the Cowboys are playing. A couple of quick play the balls. There was no Bronco marker there. That gave Michael Morgan the space in behind the ruck. He was able to get that kick away. Big involvement from Morgan over the last couple of plays.
And Louis misses with that one. This is incredible. This is the third consecutive half the Cowboys have not conceded a point. They kept the Warriors scoreless in the semi. Now they're keeping the Broncos scoreless first half of the final. Talk about cometh the hour, cometh the men. The Cowboys up 10 points to 0. Was that called for, Morgan? It is going to go the 10. Yes, it does. Brisbane had to be careful that they let it go the 10. If they touched it before it went to 10, it would have been a Cowboys penalty. It ends the 9 minutes. We're at the halfway stage of the final, and courtesy of an Antonio Winterstein try and a follow-up from Curtis Rona and a good conversion from Robert Louis, the Cowboys chasing some silverware lead the Broncos by 10 points to 0. And a very good performance at that. The team that beat the Panthers by 10 in the quarters, then the Warriors 8-0 to silence the crowd. Now coming up with a 10-0 scoreline. I don't know, do we know Nines football enough to know what the tactics are of Brisbane at 10-0 down, Brandy, to start the second half?
Well, they didn't really have that many opportunities, the Brisbane Broncos. Sam Thaiday tiptoeing down the sideline was probably the closest they came to scoring. They didn't have much ball in the latter part of that first half either, and the Cowboys just continually rolled them over. Big start by the Cowboys. That was from the kickoff. They dragged them over the touchline, put some pressure on the Broncos, repelled them in that set, but the Cowboys have had more ball and hung on to it more. Michael Morgan has had an outstanding opening stanza, and Antonio Winterstein, the footwork that he put on to beat Josh Hoffman was just mesmerising.
They've been pretty much faultless as the North Queensland Cowboys. Sonny Bill joins the party. 100% completion rate as against the Broncos that have just had a couple of touches which have put them off on their completions. So 10-0 is not beyond them at all. But when you're on, the Nines you're on.
They've just posted the crowd for the weekend. Just a tick over 89,000 here at Eden Park over the two-day tournament. There's no doubt the success of it.
I would suggest get in early and get your tickets for next year already.
We are ready then for the second half. What a good shot that is dead at ground level. Ben Cummins in the foreground. The Brisbane Broncos ready to start us off. It is a place kick to start the two halves. But this may be our final 9 minutes of the weekend. Brisbane will not want to fall behind by more than 10. Parker down to Louis Taumalolo. And launches himself into Kennedy right there. Taumalolo and Glenn.
Andrew.
I'm really hoping that he comes of age this year, Jason Taumalolo. Tamo has been the forward leader, though, coming back from the World Cup and the success at Old Trafford. Mitchell on to Linnett. Linnett tackled and held by Jordan Drew, but in 3 tackles back to halfway. Louis left side. Gee, if you chuck Thurston into the mix, how good would they be? Bowen looking to stand up Mills. He's done it. Look at Bowen. Put a foot on the sideline as well. The sideline official's flag is up. And Jarvid Bowen is denied a try.
Almost the perfect set, wasn't it, from the Cowboys? 3 forwards hit the ball up. They get it out to halfway. And then they shift to the left. Jarvid Bowen just touching the sideline there. Corey Parker, he'll be desperate to get an offload. They need something to happen quickly, the Broncos, but they need to control the ball.
Well spotted too. Paul Green too. First time as head coach at this level. At the helm here of the Cowboys, and I mentioned a lot earlier in the tournament, he played at the Nines in 1997 for Australia up in Townsville. So maybe some experience he added to the fold here. His team is up by 10. And McCulloch on for Hunt, flat-footed, absolutely bereft of ideas in this set. Glenn links up with Mills, puts a fend on Bowen, who's able to rope him in. Last tackle, 35 away from the Cowboys line. Mills may have been hurt. They've only got 4 on the bench. Back to Hunt, and that is a distinct disadvantage. High ball underneath it. Curtis Rona! Try and do that at home.
He lost it at the last moment and still regathered it. A great effort. And they're away.
Almost. Santo. Wonderful play. Watch this again. Curtis Rona. Look at that. What about the degree of difficulty in that take?
The right foot just loses traction. Keeps his eye on the football.
Cowboys have the ball on their 40, and Louis with Morgan, a dummy to Tamo. He's got them guessing again. So many players have grown in stature for the Cowboys through the tournament. Leonard flicks it out the back, and over the sideline goes Morgan. Broncos hang in the contest. Midway through the 12th minute. And Cowboys up 10-0.
Poor old Michael Morgan. He's on a hiding to nothing here. Catches the ball by the sideline. Has Gillette all over the top of him. Good contact. Solid contact.
Todd Lowry cuts it back. Played in football last year with the Warriors. Just inside the Cowboys half. Thaiday straight and hard. Cruz a handful. Bit of a platform to work from here for Brisbane. He goes through the legs of Cooper. I like that. Then Hunt. Left side onto Gillett. Spins away from Leonard. Gets a little sneaky ball away for Drew. Jordan Drew, has he been hurt? Penalty goes to Brisbane for the strip.
He's holding the ball behind his back, just keeping control of it. And the second player comes into the tackle and it's released at the same time. More football for the Broncos.
Yeah, bit of footy to be played here with 5.5 to go. But Brisbane in a grand position to score their first points of the match. Thaiday. And what if the Cowboys hold them out? What if there's 2 shutouts, semi-final and final? No one will be able to question their victory. McCulloch, good ball, flat, Gillett, close, 5 in the tackle. There's only 9 on the field, and 5 are there to stop Matt Gillett.
Still got a couple of tackles left, the Broncos. Tackle to Matt Gillett. He can hit a hole. The Broncos just don't get there. They need to come up with some points.
Inside the final 5 now. McCulloch drifts across field. Hunt out the back on the bounce. Third bounce to Mills. Confronted there by Bowen and Mitchell. He's stopped, not held. No call at all. Play on for the Broncos. Dickarima to centre field. On the spin. Back to Thor. The big dummy from Sam. As big as you'll see.
How long can you wind up?
Thaiday and McCulloch is not over. Again, their stoic defence of the Cowboys on their line with Leonard. How did 9 players defend the width like they are doing? Thaiday, last tackle. Hunt is held. Oh, it is superb from North Queensland.
Well, they did it in the semi-final. They're doing it again here in the final. Oh, Leonard's made a mistake.
Thaiday was held out of it in trying to get through to it.
And I think he got a touch to the ball as well, Thaiday. Double knock on.
They've been so good at reading numbers, haven't they, the Cowboys? Just numbering up across the opposition. Even on that last play, when the Broncos come out here to the left, they were looking for Hunt. There was 60 metres on the other side of the football field. 3 Broncos and only 2 were for the Cowboys.
First knock on to Kane Linnett, so the Broncos get the feed. Ben Hunt.
It almost looks strange having a scrum, Brandy. We've hardly seen one.
And there's 5 in the scrum. Bossy, there's plenty of room out wide.
Okay, bend it. Time back on, put it in.
So here we go, all on the open side. Hunt to the right, possession favouring Brisbane in the second half, but still no points this time. Penalty. Quick tap is taken. Play on for Hunt. There as the grey goes, Corey Parker. The captain of Brisbane right in front of the sticks. McCulloch in a dummy half. Brisbane down by 10 points to 0. Lowry run around. McCulloch a dummy. Great tackle. Thompson this time and Sims. I'm running out of superlatives for the Cowboys for this defence. Are they pushing the envelope a little far here? Will the play be sin-binned if they keep conceding penalties? Thaiday got it away. This time they'll score. Over goes Hunt. It is game on. It's a bonus zone try. It's 10-5. It'll be 10-7 in a moment.
Oh, that's a courageous run from Ben Hunt. He's the one that hits the hole. He wants to get on with it and put it through the points to give them 7. It is now 10-7. Fantastic play by the little halfback. Hit the ball off Sam Thaiday and crashed through a couple of Cowboys defenders.
The flat pass did so well to actually take it. I thought he took it down low as well, Brandy. Nice touch.
Getting the bonus zone try takes the having to kick a conversion. Oh, what was that? What?
He's going to get away with it. He's going to get away with it.
Hang on, did that hit his leg before it hit the ground? That just hit his shin, didn't it?
No, it hit the ground.
Did it hit the ground and then his shin?
He topped it. He hit the top of the ball.
They had all sorts of deliveries. That was the googly, wasn't it?
We'll have the
Just slow one
5-second
out
rule.
there.
He should be able to pick it up and have another one then if he topped it. Well, that's the way I play golf. As the ball goes to Rona. And then as offloaded, Rona's got it back off Kane Leonard. Rona's going to get a double in the final. Curtis Rona off a little bit of Cowboys magic from Kane Leonard has scored a try.
Leonard's gone down, he hasn't moved. Lovely interchange of play here from Curtis Rona. Dislocated his thumb as mentioned earlier in the day. Look at that pass to put Leonard away. Then Leonard comes up with a low leg entry. Little signal to the crowd says, yeah baby, I'm on my way. I'm here. My name is Curtis Rona.
Well, another one of the Cowboys that has been outstanding today, Kane Leonard. A beautiful pass back inside to Rona. Michael Morgan's able to slot it through for the extra 2 points.
It's a vital one, Brandy, to land that. It would have been 7 the difference. Now it's 9. I know it was from close range. I thought Rona may have gotten to the bonus zone to score, but he took no chances and dived short of that. Watch where he finishes here. He's pretty close. Absolutely, and all decided to dive there rather than take on the man.
Well, this time Morgan drives it deep.
16-7, and we're inside the final minute. Brisbane with Thaiday under a high tackle from Tamo, then takes him on a second time and a third. Then they go in a bit of Greco-Roman wrestling to finish it off. Parker up to halfway, doesn't find Glenn. Hunt was almost held off the ball. He's got it back, Hunt. He'll try a kick. Very much the last roll of the dice. And there's Tamo. You're talking about your players of the tournament. He's a big contender.
He's played big minutes for a front rower, James Tamo, and the effort from all the Cowboys defensively, the scramble has been great. They've defended their own line time and time again over the last few matches. Tarek Sims will slow things down now. We're just about at full time.
Well, this is it. This is the first title. The Cowboys have done it. Cos Jason takes the final play. And for all of you Cowboys fans that have been there since day one, get the trophy cabinet off lay-by tomorrow. You've got to get it set up at the Cowboys Leagues Club in the heart of Townsville. There's a trophy to put on the shelf. It is the Dick Smith NRL Auckland Nines. And they've beaten Big Brother in getting there. Downing Brisbane by 16 points to 7. Having knocked over the tournament favourites in the semi, the Warriors, 8 points to 0. The Panthers in the quarterfinals as well. Well done to Paul Green's North Queensland Cowboys.
Welcome back. Well, after almost 48 hours, 16 clubs, 256 players and 31 games, it all came down to just 18 minutes. And that was more than enough time for the North Queensland Cowboys, who are the victors in the inaugural Auckland Nines competition. Welcome back to Brett Kamali, Mark Gasnier and Braithen Astor. Well, Noddy, did you expect the final to go that way, essentially one-sided with the Cowboys winning?
No, they were brilliant, the Cowboys, and I suppose they showed their hand a little bit in the semi-final against the Warriors when they were able to keep the Warriors to 0. A very, very good defensive effort. They controlled the ruck. They were smart enough to take some opportunities. They probably only had 4 try-scoring opportunities and they scored 3 tries. Robert Louis, was brilliant with the short ball there that went length of field. Winterstein was good. Curtis Rona obviously become the star of the show, but it was a dominant performance by the Cowboys. It was certainly unpredictable, but
I thought that was their best performance of the tournament. I thought they saved their best performance for the most important time. They were, as Noddy said, they made the most of their opportunities. They defended unbelievable. Like, Brisbane had 3 sets to 5 on the line there. That's probably the equivalent of 5 in the NRL. Like, that is a huge effort. And at one stage, they did have 4 or 5 defenders around the ruck. They scrambled well. Robert Louis was great without overplaying his hand. Anthony Mitchell, once again, was outstanding. But Winterstein, I think I'm really looking forward to watching him this year. I think he's really coming along as a very elusive, strong player.
Yeah, you talk about dominance from the Cowboys defensively. The last 3 games, I think they led in probably 7 points the last 2 games. In this game, when the pressure was on, they lifted. Defence comes down to desire and attitude, and it showed they were definitely the best in that department today. And who would have thought that the Cowboys would have won the Nines tournament on the back of your defence instead of attack? Like, really, you're thinking that teams are going to win off the back of their expansive football and scoring plenty of tries, but they won off the back of defence.
It's funny because a lot of the teams come out and said that defence is going to win it. Sean Johnson, pre-tournament, said, no, our attack will come, but defence is going to win it. So, obviously they did put a lot of emphasis on it, but it's one thing to execute it, isn't it?
Well, I guess for the Warriors, and we saw in that semi-final, they just couldn't get past the Cowboys' defence, could they? And I guess that led to eventually the Cowboys becoming the winners. Now, it wasn't just one man for the Cowboys who did extremely well. They shared it around Curtis Rona in that final. We didn't see much of him throughout the tournament, but he was fantastic.
He was great. He was in the right position at the right time. They took a lucky ricochet off, I think it was a Mitchell kick from dummy half. The ball pops up, he's there. And then obviously late in the half, the right-hand offload from Lynette and it falls back in his hand. So it's about taking your opportunity if your opportunity gets presented. And I think this whole tournament was about unveiling some young guys. But, as you said, Curtis Rona has moved up to North Queensland from Sydney. Got a taste of the Nines, so you probably would have thought, okay, those more senior players in front of him that they're going to pick, got an opportunity and becomes the star of the day.
It seems like there's a good culture at the place, doesn't it? Like, I remember watching the Roosters play a trial match against the West Tigers last year, and I was at the game, and I remember coming off thinking, you know what, geez, they're going to go well this year. They were that happy to play with one another. Obviously, they had the talent. Having the roster's one thing. North Queensland definitely have the roster. First, that's the box tick, but they look like they want to play for each other.
I wonder how much they actually prepared for this tournament with Paul Green being a part of that Internationals 9 series in 1997 in Townsville. Well,
he would have had a lot of experience, and I suppose he could have got a lot of words of wisdom to the team, but I'm not too sure how much they prepared because their first game was probably their worst game, So maybe they just learned as they went along and looked at the games after they played and the ones the oppositions as well and worked out their strengths and weaknesses or whatever. But, their attitude in defence, that's what's won them this tournament, and that's where they improved the most as the tournament went on.
Well, let's find out how the head coach is feeling. Paul Green is with Lara Pitt.
With victorious coach Paul Green from the Cowboys. Paul, you couldn't have asked for a better start to your time here.
Yeah, exactly. We got off to a bit of a rocky start. We didn't play so well in that first game, but I think we got better as the tournament went on. So, yeah, really happy.
Probably not a gauge for how the team will go in the NRL, but defence rock solid this weekend.
Yeah, I think, when you mentioned about Nines, everyone thinks it's going to be an open attacking sort of game, but, we really worked hard indeed and we valued it, and I think it put us in good stead, in particular against that Warriors. That was a tough game for us.
Bittersweet losing a couple of players though?
Yeah, we got a couple of injuries out of it, which is a bit of a shame. Just really disappointed for Lachlan Coote. But, yeah, it was good that we won.
Thanks so much. Enjoy this.
Thank you. Cheers.
Head coach of the Cowboys there, Paul Green, with Lara Pitt. Well, let's talk about the Broncos, I should say now. And really, for the spectators, you sit down, you try and settle into the match, and it's all over. Would that be the same for the players? Because the Broncos didn't start exactly the way they wanted to in that final.
No, and that can happen so quickly in this game. The momentum, if you lose momentum or you don't take an opportunity when it's presented, or the opposition scores a try early, which they did through Curtis Rona, then it's hard to get that back. It's hard to suddenly quickly get your refocus back, and you've got to get back into the game. So it's about being able to adapt very quickly, jump into something, try and play field position. It certainly looked like the Broncos didn't settle down at all the whole game. They looked, even when they scored the try from Hunt, it was frantic. The whole 18 minutes for the Broncos looked fast and frantic, and that can unsettle you when you get off to a bad start.
And sometimes it's so frustrating that you see so much space because there's less people on the field, yet you can't execute it and you can't get to them positions. And when they scramble and they save them half chances, it eats you up and it frustrates you.
Look, they didn't win, but plenty of positives to take out for the Broncos just a couple of weeks out from the season.
Yeah, I think a huge positive is Hunt. I thought he was outstanding the whole tournament, really creative there in the halves. It'd be interesting to see who they do play at 5'8" to support him in that role. And you've got the obvious ones with Thaiday, Gillette and Parker. I mean, he's Captain Courageous, stands up week in and week out. So they've still got that stability there, and they've got plenty of speed out wide too. Hoffman, Copeland, they were fantastic out wide. So there's plenty of talent up there at the Broncos. It's just maybe getting that culture, you know. I mean, Gaz spoke about North Queensland and how happy they looked, and you know, they've probably got to get to that stage too.
Well, we heard from the coach. Let's hear from the captain now. Gavin Cooper is with Lara Pitt.
A few wounds after that one. Captain Gavin Cooper joins me now. Gavin, you winners, what does it mean to you to win the inaugural Auckland Nines?
It is a big deal. It's a lot of fun. Everyone came out and turned out in numbers. It was good to pip the Warriors in front of the home crowd, and then All Queensland Derby final. It was unreal. The boys dug in, and 7 points, or I think 6 or 7 points down with a couple of minutes to go, or up with a couple of minutes to go. Boys hung in. It was great.
Certainly did it the hard way. Now you are the captain. You'll get to lift the trophy. Will JT be furious with you that he's not here?
No. I think after seeing the turnout that was here, if they didn't have the World Cup last year, there's a few guys that would love to be in here. So hopefully all the crowd and everyone gets to see those boys over here in this sort of format.
Enjoy the win.
Cheers. Thank you.
That's Gavin Cooper there with Lara Pitt. He's now racing over to the podium because the presentation is about to start, and the inaugural winner of the Auckland's 9 competition will be crowned, and they get to take away with them one massive cheque.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think you'll agree we have just experienced the greatest weekend with the inaugural Dick Smith NRL Auckland Nines. May I introduce the official party, the Auckland Mayor, Len Brown, the CEO of the NRL, Mr. Dave Smith, the CEO of Dick Smith, our naming rights sponsor, Mr. Nick Abood, the Chairman of the NRL Commission, Mr. John Grant, and the CEO of Toshiba, Mr. Paul English. I'd now like to ask a very happy Mr. Nick Abood, the CEO of Dick Smith, to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Dick Smith, we first want to thank the Auckland fans. Congratulations on a great weekend. Well done. To the NRL, Dave Smith and the NRL team, we've fallen in love with the Nines. It's great that it's here for the next 3 years and possibly another 2 years after that. So thank you, Dave. Also, obviously to North Queensland, if you look at the last 2 games, there was only 1 try scored against them. They've scored a number of tries. Obviously the underdogs in the tournament. Congratulations to North Queensland. And to the Bronx, not this time, but I'm sure you'll learn a lot from this year, and good luck next year. On behalf of Dick Smith, we hope you come and shop with us, and thank you very much. We'll see you next year.
Yes, it would be fair to say, if you don't know who Dick Smith is right now, you haven't been watching the Dick Smith NRL Auckland Nines. A panel of experts over the last 48 hours has selected an MVP. Who was the most valuable player at the Dick Smith NRL Auckland Nines? The winner will pick up a $1,000 Toshiba notebook and a $5,000 gift voucher courtesy of Dick Smith. I'll ask Mr. Nick Abood now to tell you who is the Dick Smith MVP.
The Dick Smith MVP player of the tournament, and my favourite player, Shaun Johnson.
Well, firstly, just want to congratulate the Cowboys boys. Played really well and deserved to win, so congrats. To all the Warriors fans that showed up over the weekend. You really made it a special weekend for us, and I'm so sorry we couldn't come through and get out in the final, but yeah, maybe next year. All the sponsors that made this event possible, I think it was a huge success, and looking forward to coming back next year. Cheers.
Well, when there's a champion, there always has to be a runner-up. Could I please ask Corey Parker, the captain of the Brisbane Broncos, to come up and say a few words? Corey?
First of all, I'd just like to thank the organiser of the event. Since we got here from day one, it's been nothing but a pleasure. To the Cowboys, nice to see an All-Queensland final, but congratulations to you guys. To our boys, we come here with an open mind and, you know, we give it everything we got. We pulled up short. I think we only had 3 on the bench at the end, but we kept fighting to the end. Most importantly, to everyone that stayed around here that supported this wonderful game, thank you very much. To all the volunteers that have given up their time, thank you. And we'll see you again next year, bigger and better. Cheers.
And of course, there have to be champions. The champions of the inaugural Dick Smith NRL Auckland Nines are the North Queensland Cowboys. Could I please ask their captain, Gavin Cooper, and the whole team to come up and accept their winners' medals, and we'll also pick up that beautiful trophy. But let's first hear it all from their captain, Gavin Cooper.
First of all, just like to thank the organisers, sponsors of the event. It's been a great weekend. Auckland's been buzzing the whole time since we've been here. Our major sponsor, Toyota, thanks to those guys, great support. To the Broncos, it was great to see a All-Queensland Grand Final. Another thanks must go out to the Raiders. They beat Manly to keep us in the final, so thanks to those boys. And to our boys, we didn't start the way we'd like to, but we came home in the end and young legs hung on. Commiserations to Cootie, but we've got a great team moving forward, and thanks everyone for your support. Cheers, boys.
Only one more thing to do. Raise the inaugural Dick Smith NRL Nines trophy. Your champions, the North Queensland Cowboys. Make sure you hang around, folks, because the North Queensland Cowboys will also do a lap of honour, and we will see you in 2015 for the Dick Smith NRL Auckland Nines.
Well, congratulations to the North Queensland Cowboys. They are the winners of the inaugural Auckland Nines competition, and what a weekend it has been. Thank you very much to Brett Kamali for being here. It's been great to have your company, Mark Gasnier. It has for you as well.
Enjoyed it,
and Braithen Astor, thanks for coming in today, and good luck with the season.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Well, that's it from us. But next week, Saturday week, the 22nd, we have a massive game for you. Another pre-season epic. It's the Dragons up against the Rabbitohs, and that kicks off at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's been great to have your company across the last 2 days of the inaugural Auckland Nines. Good night.
Nicarima again, grubbering, needs a bounce, gets one, he's in again. Some numbers down the short side. Stapleton tripping the light fence fantastic down the sideline. Last play, try and stop him. This hasn't been all that sharp from the Warriors. Johnson, though, can correct it. Look at the speed. Oh, Sean Johnson has got there. Quick hands, Mitchell, Thompson, nice work. Sims, well, he'll unwind now. Tarek Sims unwinds in the big leap. Morgan got a kick in. It's going to bounce well for Leonard. Gathered in, what a take, Curtis Rona.
This has been a production of Fox Sports.